Good morning, good morning. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I'm in my new craft room. Look, my hair's a mess. I can't really see anything, so I need to get some better blinds. I cannot complain though. I'm in the warm, which is delightful. Absolutely delightful. So thank you very much for joining me. I am hoping I'm live on my Songbird Stamper page. If anybody says I'm on my personal page, please do tell me. Let me turn the volume down on my computer and find the video, and I'll hey Anita, I can see you joining me. Nice to see you. So this is the March Fancy Fold class. I moved house on morning, Lisa. Happy new home indeed. Yeah, we moved house on Wednesday. It's now Friday, so everything's in complete disarray. I was taking down wardrobes yesterday, filling up the kitchen. So everything in the kitchen is unpacked. We're getting there. We've got far more space than we did have. So actually everything's really gone in nice and easy. Good morning, Anita. Good morning, Heather. Yeah, I know. We're so pleased to be in the new house. It's absolutely amazing. Love it. Yes, this is my craft room. So I thought I'd put you on the phone actually. 2 reasons. One, I just couldn't face anything other than what I knew and loved today. And 2, so that you can kind of see behind me. It's a huge room. I don't know how well you can see, but that's the door. And then all my boxes down here. That's where the wardrobes were yesterday. And my desk. And then I'm trying to keep as little out as possible. Morning, Sandy. Because we're going to need to completely redecorate. All the paper got to come off, dado rail got to come off, paint's got to be done, and then carpets. I'm having all the stuff from my, let me put you back. It is lovely, thank you, Heather. I'm having all the stuff from my storage container delivered on Tuesday. And then my dad's coming down with the stuff from his house later in next week. So yeah, lots of stuff to arrive, but it'd be lovely to have it all in one place. I've been having stuff here, there and everywhere for the last 3 years, I think. Kind of running up to the storage container. Running up, it's 45 minutes away up to the storage container, everything, every time I need something that I've forgotten. So it'd be lovely to have it all in one place and get settled and sorted. So thank you, Anita. Yeah, I've got lots of options with this space. Not quite as big as my room in Denmead that I had, but I am so blessed to have a lovely big space and warm. I nearly took my jumper off this morning. It's actually quite hot. I've got the southerly facing window, so all the light coming in all day, which is going to be amazing. So let me find this video. Please tell me I am in the right place, and we'll turn you around and get going. Morning, Mary. Morning, Katie. Yes, we've got a big radiator, Mary. It's old. We're gonna have to get the heating system sorted. I think it's all very old and needs sorting, but it's to do. Yeah, I had a bit of an emergency, Lynn. Can't put it any other way. So I'm a bit late. So apologies. Right, let me bring that up. So I'm hoping everybody's packs arrived. Oh, that's me. I don't want to hear me. Oh, mute. Right, okay. I'm hoping everybody can. Everybody's packs are sorry. I'm hoping everybody's packs arrived. I sent them out at the beginning of the week. Saturday, I think they went in the post, so they should be arriving or arrived in time for this class. And I've got to remember how to make these cards now. That's going to be the test, I think. Right. Let me spin you around. I've managed to get the video up. I've managed to get comments. So let me spin you around and we'll have a look at what is in this class. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to everybody who signed up to the class. It's what keeps me going, keeps me in business. So thank you very much indeed. 3 fancy folds for you this morning, which I had never made before, any of these. I wanted to test them. Ah, brilliant. I'm glad they arrived. I didn't even have time to kind of hand deliver this morning. So everybody's went in the post. So let me spin you out. Good morning, Diane. Nice to see you. Diane, you signed up to the class, didn't you, my lovely? So you should have your pack. I hope it's arrived. Let me spin you around and we'll get going. The first one is actually a waterfall card we're going to make. So inspired by the lovely Jill. Jill Peters, who sent me one of these and inspired me to kind of get going and make one. I'd never made one before. So we're going to be using a little bit of retired paper for this one, but it's it was last week in the clearance rack. So let me spin you around and we'll see if we can get set up somewhere that you can see what I'm doing. I'm not sure this is perfect or the kind of finished article, but there we go. So these are the instructions that you should have. These are going to be for sale on the website as well. So if you didn't sign up for the class, then you should still be able to have a go at making these cards. I won't be writing down or kind of lingering too long over dimensions because it makes it fair on those who signed up to the class. But welcome anybody and get inspired, have a go. Yes, arrived yesterday. Good, Diane. So in project 1, you should have an envelope to send your card. You should have a card blank, so white card. This is 21 across by 14.5. It's scored already for you at 10.5, so it goes inside the envelope. You've got a piece. I'm going to try and go slowly for you today. So if anything you can't see anything, do give me a shout. If we go all fuzzy, I do apologise. Again, I'm not on my new camera. I've gone back to the phone just for this month, hopefully. You've got a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock, 14 by 10, and a piece of DSP, 13.5 by 9. That's just going to layer on. Good morning, Sue. Do you know what? It couldn't have gone any better. Our move. It rained just while we were driving from one house to the other. It poured it down. But other than that, all in smoothly. We only had to wait 10 minutes to pick up the keys, which was fab. You should have 4 pieces of cardstock measuring 2.5 by 2.5, 4 pieces of DSP measuring 2.25 by 2.25. Use whichever side of that you want. You should have a basic white heart punch and a coloured card heart punch, and then a piece of coloured cardstock measuring 7/8 by 3 3/4. The first thing that we're going to do is, and you should have a piece of, I forgot about this piece, I nearly forgot to put these in your packs as well. You should have a piece of thick Whisper White card, thick Whisper White, and that is 8.5 by 2 3/8. Okay, so you should have a piece of that. It wouldn't go in your envelope, so it should be in your pack separately. And that's for this one. So grab that and pop that to one side for a second. So first thing we're going to do is grab some Tombow glue. I've got a lovely new one. I've got some new, I don't know if I should say where it came from, but I've got some new desk storage, which is fab, and it's going to help me keep all my glues upright. Some of them were running out, but this one is brand new. Treating myself. Stick the pattern paper, the DSP, onto the Blushing Bride card. And then stick that onto the card blank. Was it the Swedish shop? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, Katie. It was from a friend of mine. It's from a friend of mine. But that's all I'm going to say. Thank you to that friend for my storage. Right, so that's going straight on there like that, and then we can put the glue away for now. That's going to form our card base. So pop that to one side, and then you want to take your piece of cardstock measuring 8 oh no, let's decorate our panels first off. So I've got 2 pieces of Balmy Blue and 2 pieces of Daffodil Delight, just because then these are done. And I'm going to show you the cards that I have made, and it's this one. I haven't done that yet. And you just pull that down, and all the panels fold over. I'm only going to show you because I quite liked how I had decorated them. I've got Balmy Blue, then Daffodil Delight, then Balmy Blue, then Daffodil Delight cardstock. And so this is the way I put my panels on. I'll pop that there so you can see if you wish to. So the raindrops goes on that one, just because it stands out more than it does on that one. So that's going to go on to Daffodil Delight. The umbrella is going to go on to Balmy Blue. This one, the green one, is, you again, use whichever sides you want. That one's going to go onto Balmy Blue, and the tulips is going to go onto... I loved this paper so much, and it is on the clearance rack at the moment. Well, it was when I last looked. Down at £4.20, I think. And then I'm just going to stick these on. So yeah, bless Royal Russ was sorting all the internet out for us yesterday. So the Virgin Man came, which is fab. We were watching the telly the night before. We hotspotted our phones, or he did off his, and it was used so much data to watch TV through the phone. But we like to sit down and watch an episode or something in the evening, which is nice. We found the local Sainsbury's, so we've got something nice for dinner. I've got pizza for tonight. I've got to go to work. I don't really want to. I wish I'd taken the weekend off now. But at least it's nice, so I've got all day to kind of sort things out, keep unpacking. I've got a skip run at 12:30 today, so that's booked in. So I should be going down the tip. Get rid of these furniture, these wardrobes from yesterday, get rid of all the cardboard. But is it beautiful again today? I hope it is where you are as well. It's absolutely beautiful here. Oh, is it clear picture, is it, Jan? I'm surprised. It's the internet, I think. We've got better internet here, and Russ had the access point put in his room, and his room is just behind us. So our room's literally back onto each other. And he did an internet speed test here and said that the internet speed was much better in my room now, which is good. But I'll get the camera set up for next time as well, because it is just that little bit better. But yeah, hopefully no fuzziness. It is a full day, Lisa. Yesterday was a full day as well. But yeah, I like to keep busy. So those are our panels, and then we're going to take our strip. You have to take a tip slot when you can get them, I've learned at the moment. So for fancy folds, I quite often use this, which is the Simply Scored scoring tool. You get a little space for your stylus down the bottom, because you're doing a lot of scoring. If you don't have this, you can absolutely use your trimmer. Let me move that down there, and then you can see the measurements as well. Yep, no problems in using your trimmer for this, but I just have my scoreboard here, and so I wanted to show you the scoreboard. I think it's about 23, that might be a trimmer. Oh, I'll have a look. I can't remember how much this is, but it's really, really useful. One of the first things I bought, actually. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the piece of cardstock measuring 8.5 by 2 3/8 and put it so that the long side is up the top here. Then we're going to score it at 2 inches, 2.5, 3, 3.5. Oh, it's got a bit of a finger mark in that one. And 4. I really ought to put these markers out of the way. If I can get it out. 4. So score that. And then we're done with our scoreboard. Then fold and burnish all of the score lines. Yay for good internet indeed, Katie. Yes, makes such a difference. We rely on it so heavily. So yeah, we think we might need to replace our 30-year-old boiler. The guy was ex-Navy here, and he was a bit of a DIY enthusiast by the looks of it. But yeah, he was gas safe, and he had managed to keep this boiler going and alive for 30 years, which I think is quite impressive. But it is struggling with our requirements a little bit, so we'll get that done, I think. So that's what you should end up with, and it just kind of rotates and pulls around like that. So what I've said is, with the paper vertically and the score lines at the top, so you want it this way around, so that they're kind of going to score into fold in towards you. Oh, you bought this good too? Yes, you did, Anita. It's fab, isn't it? Really, really great scoreboard. Love it. So that's going to go like that, and then we're going to decorate this panel. So I've used the Sweet Strawberry stamp set. Now this is going to carry over into the new annual catalogue, which, believe it or not, is coming out in May. So not long to go now. Whether we'll have a launch, it remains to be seen. It depends how busy I am, I think. But we may have a launch party coming up in May, maybe in June. I don't know if I can get round to it. It's so early in May. But yeah, that's great. I'm afraid all demonstrators will be able to see the new catalogue in April. So gosh, not long. I've used this little stamp here. I love this one. It has got an outline, but I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to use the infill. And I'm working with Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana, Highland Heather, and Daffodil Delight, some of my favourite spring summer colours. So let's open all those up. And I've just stamped randomly, really. I've got my Simply Chamois in its case, which I need a new Simply Chamois, really. This one's a bit manky. I've washed it out, but there's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I like fresh, clean ones. Huh? So, and I'm going full strength. That being my favourite colour, we're going to have a few of those. So whatever you've got to decorate this, obviously I can't send out stamped images. I'm just going to go for a green in the middle there. It's going to fit. Yeah, I can't send out stamped images, sadly. So whatever you've got to decorate this with, you go ahead and use that. We're going to cover up this middle section anyway, so I'm not too worried about getting the spacing perfect in there. What were the colours? Granny Apple Green, Daffodil Delight, Coastal Cabana and Highland Heather. I thought these matched the papers quite well. And then I think we'll just go for another yellow just up here. Don't worry too much about the top because you're not going to see it all that much. A little taste of spring there for us. And then, oh, it should have been Balmy Blue actually, not Coastal Cabana. But there we go, such is life. No, on this one I did use Coastal Cabana, so looks fine. But if you've got Balmy Blue will do as well. So on the heart, good morning Jill, nice to see you. You missed your shout out. This card was inspired by you, Jill. Lovely to have you join us. Yeah, this was inspired by your one you sent me, and I was like, oh, I really got to get going. And then you said it was easier than it looked, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll give it a go then. Right, so I've got this is from the Springtime Joy set. I love this. And I'm going to decorate my card further with this one later, I think. And so I've got, may the new life of spring bring you joy, because that is so how I feel today. At the moment, we've got sun shines out. So just very simply on there. You want to make sure your greeting fits first. One of the really useful tips I've got for you is that the stamp sets are, unless it says otherwise, are the size of the actual stamps inside. So if you take your punched image once you've punched it out and place it over a greeting, you'll see whether it fits or not. So you could have put a nice little basket on there, you could put a little chick and some flowers, but you can just lay that over. Unless it says artwork at X%, these will always be the actual size of the stamped images once they're stamped out, which is really, really useful to know, because then you'll know if it'll fit. So I've just got that one, and I'm going to simply layer on top of this one. Just put a bit of glue on there. So I had some visits from the neighbours yesterday. They came round, a nice bottle of wine, a couple of cards. It's lovely. Apparently they have little close get-togethers, which will be fab. Not entirely sure how Russ felt about that. But I said to him, "Don't worry." I said, "It was the women that came round. It's a very much more a girly thing, I think." Welcome the neighbours, probably just checking us out, making sure we were. Good evening, Linda. Nice to see you. How you doing? How is it, life down under? So that's going to pop on there just like that. So if we're coming into spring, Linda and in Australia must be coming into autumn. Is that right? Is that how it works? So that's going to go on just like that. Leave your card in this position once you've done that bit. Okay, and you may be crafting along, you may not be. So stamp some images, decorate how you want, but you can decorate this afterwards. Same with your panels as well. The only thing I say is if you want to stamp on any of your panels, I recommend you do that now before you put them on. If you want to actually stamp directly onto the cardstock. If you just want to kind of put elements on, which I'm going to do, I'm going to put some of these stamps on, I think, so that when you kind of fold it down, you've got the sheep and the rabbit coming out. But we can do that. You can do that slow time afterwards. No need to do that now. It was lovely. Lovely of the neighbours, Anita. Yeah. Going into autumn, looking forward to temps under 35. Wow. I don't think I could cope with it that hot. I'm a bit fussy with temperature. I'm just perfect today. Just perfect. But quite often, too hot or too cold. Not normally just right. So what we're going to do is leave that as it is. Okay. Just like that. Then what you want to do is fold over. Let me see what I've written. Fold the other section over this and towards you. Okay, so pop it down like that. Cover all that up. Then take your top panel, whichever one you want to be on the top, and we're going to line it up, and we're just going to put a little bit of glue on this flap. Now you can either use wet glue or you can use a tape runner. Wet glue will give you a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm just going to put some glue on that top flap. Line that up the right way. Remember, you're going to overlap slightly. It's about 2 or 3 millimeters. And I'm going to have to pick this up, but you want to line that up on there so it's equidistant, left to right, and lined up right against that top edge. So you want it flush against the top here, and when you turn it over, you should have an equal distance down either side. Okay, and then make sure that's nice and dry. Give that a second to dry. Yeah, I must admit, British weather, when British weather works, it's perfect. It's just right in the spring and in the autumn. And to be honest, even in the summers, we get some lovely days, but not crazy hot. In the winter, it can be crisp and fresh. Then what you're going to do is, once that's dry, just flip that over so that one is now laying back and you've got the next flap. Then choose which one you want. With this one, make sure your raindrops are going up the right way. Normally it's the smaller bit at the top and then the rounded bit of the raindrops underneath. And that's going to go on next. Exactly the same. Just grab a bit of glue, pop a bit of glue down. And that's a bit easier now because you can line it up against the one that's already here. Again, just make sure it's lined up at the top there, nice and straight. The only problem with wet glue is you maybe get too much wiggle room, and I shouldn't wiggle it around so much. And then press that down. If you've never made one of these, you're going to be surprised just how easy this is to make. so much choice as well. It's a really great way of showing off designer series paper. Balmy blue one next, so that's going to go on next. Looks a little bit like grass, so I think the rabbit might go on this one. And you can get your head right over and see. I'm trying not to get my head in the camera. You don't really want to see my hair. And that's going to go on there. Press and fold. And then the next one. So the tutorial I saw, you can scale this up, you can scale this down. The tutorial I watched for this was on an A5 card and had 6 flaps, 6 squares, much bigger. But I just scaled it down, figured out what size flaps were good for me and how many I thought I would fit on a page. Ah, Linda, bless you. I know, my friend said that. How do you do it? Well, I just kind of made sure I was all organised. Got my desk set up, which is literally just a really quick and easy job. It's an IKEA desk, sits on top of my cabinets, and I packed an emergency craft kit which had the kits in it. The only thing I didn't pack very well was the phone stand. I just shoved that in a box, not labelled, no priority. I prioritised my boxes so I knew which ones I had to open first. Priority 3, 2, 1 and very high. And but I didn't put the phone stands in one that had high priority. So that's it. That's the mechanism basically of our waterfall card. Now we just need to attach that onto our card, and you're going to do this with this little strip here. So coming back to this bit, and what do the instructions say? When the last panel is stuck in place, this one, you should be left with a small area of undecorated and unscored card. Take this strip and glue this to the bottom of this area. It says as shown in the picture above, but I forgot to put a picture in, so my apologies if anyone wants one. What you're going to do is just stick it right onto the bottom as equal as you can. So I love Stampin' Up! Grid paper because it makes this so much easier. So this is lined up centrally now. This is lined up centrally on my grid, and so I can now use the grid to line this up. Do you know what? I wouldn't work on anything else other than grid paper now. So what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of glue, although I've moved it all, so I'm going to have to reline it up. Pop a little bit of glue on there. Line that back up. And then stick this down. So that it's flush with this bottom edge here, and I can see there that it's lined up left and right. It's not essential that you do that, but it's just going to make your card look much neater. Now line this up on the card, and you should see that with the panel centrally, this blue strip is going to come to the edge of the pattern paper. Yeah. What we're going to do is just put some glue on the underside, just on the edges of these tabs. Now I'm going to use Tombow glue. You need a really, really strong glue because this is the only bit of glue that is holding this whole mechanism down onto the card front. Oh, it's lovely action with the waterfall card, isn't it, Anita? Have you made one before? I'd be intrigued to find out whose first fancy folds these are. So then line that up, kind of making sure it's straight in the middle, top and bottom, and then stick that down on there. And then make sure it's dry. Doesn't feel like it's going to work, but it does, and it will also stand up straight. It's got quite a lot of weight on it, but the card will stand up. So once this is dry, do make sure you wait for it to dry though. You don't want to risk ruining your mechanism.
Once that's dry, all you're going to do is pull down on that and all the flaps are going to fold over. So you could even put something up there if you wanted to. You could decorate this little bit here and then it will fold again. If you've put a punched image on, just be careful that you can, all I'm doing is squeezing the card ever so slightly so that it's going under there. First waterfall, you're loving it. Ah, brilliant. It's so cool, isn't it, Heather? Such a lovely card. And a first one for you, Anita. Yeah, these do look great in albums as well. Like we did the mini album class. You can do a little waterfall card, a little waterfall section. But that's it. And it's really quite straightforward once you know how. So yeah, that's going to look really cute with some animals on. If we have time at the end, I might, but I'd say I'm just going to show you. Today is just about showing you how to make the cards. I prefer the one with the purple umbrella, obviously. Purple being my favourite colour. But yeah, I thought it'd be nice to do some slightly different ones. We did a fancy fold class last year, actually. This is our second fancy fold class. But nice to do something different. So on the bottom here, feeling like I've not stuck it on entirely straight. I think it is. All I've done, and I have forgotten to put this in your kits, so my apologies, but I'm assuming some of you have got a little bit of ribbon, and I'll try and dig some out that matches out of my box now. But by the time I remembered, everything was boxed up. So you'll have to accept my sincerest apologies. So this one's brand new. I had this delivered yesterday to the new address. I had to change all the addresses on my UPS deliveries that were in progress. So hopefully I've done all those and they'll come. This is the Daffodil Delight Ruched ribbon, this one. Gorgeous, gorgeous ribbon. And a little bit of thin red tape. This isn't as thin as I'd like it, but it'll do. So if you've got a little bit of ribbon and a little bit of red tape, all I'm going to do is cut a tiny bit of that. Red tape is so super duper strong. It's the best thing to use. Now kind of fold this over and you only need a tiny bit of ribbon. So to be honest, even if I put it in your packs, I probably would have got lost. Pop a little bit of red tape onto the back of the... I might just neaten up that back edge actually. Okay. Put a little bit of red tape onto the back of your ribbon. This is fiddly. And it doesn't matter if you don't do it, just this is it kind of gives an indication to people that they need to pull something. So a little bit of red tape onto there and then fold that over and close it. So you've created a little loop. Oh, we moved. Yeah, we've moved, Linda. We did it already. So moved on Wednesday. No, not far. Just 20 minutes down the road, which is lovely actually. But we're just in a much bigger house, and yeah, a nicer area. And I mean, when Russ gets back to working, it's literally 5 minutes down the road for him. I should be 20 minutes to work now rather than 35. I've just put another little square of red tape on there, so I've still got my tiny little tab. And I'm going to try and explore. We might go out over the weekend if the weather's nice. Cycle ride down to the coast will be good for us both, I think. And that is going to go, lift that bottom one up. I'm just tucking it under, trying to get it as in the middle as possible. If people see a tab, they're more likely to think they need to do something with it. I remember I gave a card, excuse me, so then that's a little tab that you can pull to pull that down. So not essential, but can just... Oh, I need to pull that. I quite like the one with the purple. I couldn't find it. I gave a card to a friend of mine once, And this was before I kind of was really into Stampin' Up, and hadn't thought it was a fancy fold, it was just an easel card. Hadn't thought to kind of tell her how to make it, as in how to stand it up. And it was months and months afterwards. She said, that card you gave me was really nice, but I couldn't really see it when it was just like laying flat. I didn't understand it. She had no idea she needed to pick it up. I thought everybody might just have a little bit of ribbon hanging around, that they didn't need me to panic too much that I forgot to put that in. And there's the fold. This one's a bit floppier because I scored this in the wrong place a couple of times as I was designing it. And then this is the... I love it. I love that. It's kind of addictive just to pull it in and push it out. And I'll post a picture of that finish when I've decorated that one fully, I think, as well. So that's it. Any questions on card number 1 before we move on to card number 2? Which is actually one of my favourite. Love this one. Actually, I really like them all. I don't know if I can choose a favourite. So unless you shout up, I'm going to move straight on. I might put these inks away just ever so quickly while we wait for you to tell me if you've got any questions. Nothing. So card number 2 is in the envelope here. Now I'm going to be completely honest, you haven't got all these flowers because I didn't have enough to go around. You can decorate this with whatever you want. Again, it's just to kind of show you the folds. Now you've got there was 2 different types of pattern paper going with this one. I'm going to be making a nice pink one, I think. You can turn it over and have blue. And I can't remember what other ones you've got, but this is all from the Paper Blooms that was free during Celebration. So I had enough packs. That's why you've got this one, because I had enough packs for this to go around. So not much goes into making one of these, not much materials. You do need thick basic white card, 12 inches by 6 inches, or just thicker than the thin Whisper White. So I have scored that in one of the score lines, so kind of just unfold that, but it normally would just be 12 by 6. 2 pieces of coloured card, 5 7/8 by 2 7/8, so you've got 2 of those. Yay! Hey Lizzie! Yeah, I'm all on. We're all ready. Unpacked enough to do a class, which is great. Super duper pleased, and I don't think I've forgotten anything. 2 pieces of Whisper White card, 5 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then 3 pieces of Designer Series paper, 5 3/4 by 2 3/4 again. So line 6 by 12. Again, I'm going to use my scoring board here. You can use your trimmer though. Actually, I might use my trimmer. I might use both. See how we get on. So with my scoring board, line the 6 by 12 up on here with the long edge at the top, and you're going to score it. I've already scored it at 4.5. Okay, so if you put this score line at 4.5, it shouldn't matter because it should be the same either way around. Ah, glad you like that one, Mary. Yeah, I love that waterfall card. Really good fold. You're going to want to score it at 3 inches. Get rid of that. You're going to want to score it at 3 inches, 4.5, 7.5, and 9. Then you're going to make a small mark, either with a pencil or a scoring tool. I'll do it with a pencil so that you can see it. And I'm try and find a rubber and rub it out later. At 1.5 inches and 10.5 inches. So make a small mark at 1.5 and 10.5. Okay, if you can see, you can follow down, but I can never see. So turn it around 180 degrees and mark again at 1.5. Make sure it's flat so you get it essentially, and 10.5 inches. Okay, then turn it round. I'm trying to go slowly so anybody crafting along. Oh, my hand looks odd in that position. You can just see there's a bit of a delay on the video. So turn this round, and then you're going to want to make a small mark at 3 inches. And again up here at 3 inches. So we've scored it at 3, 4.5, 7.5 and 9 with a mark at 1.5 and 10.5. Turn it around 180, mark at 1.5 and 10.5. Short side, mark at 3, turn it around, mark at 3. Now, this is probably the most confusing bit of now doing this. So, I've got a diagram in the instructions, and you're going to score from the 1.5 mark here. Can you see how I've marked on my scoreboard as well, this centre line? I'm going to use that for this, because we need to line up the 1.5 mark and the second vertical score mark in. So we want to line that up on the white line and that mark up at the white line. And if you're doing it on your trimmer, bring the trimmer in just to show you. If you're doing it on your trimmer, you're going to want to line the 1.5 mark up at this central line here, and this bottom, this second score mark, the second score line, you're going to want to put that also on the rail here, and then you're going to score. And then just twist it so that you've got that second score line lined up in that rail, and so that you've got this mark here lined up in the rail, and score that there. Okay, that's if you're doing it on your trimmer. If you're doing it on the scoreboard, it's just the same. Line up this mark and that top central top of that one, and score. Spin it round, line that up and that up, and score. Okay, that is the basis of our card, but we just need to cut this end bit to turn it into diamonds. So to do that, the same as before, we're going to line up in the cutting groove, but we're going to cut this time. Line up the pencil mark and the top of the score line where the pencil mark is as well. Line those up in your trimmer, or you can use scissors. Entirely up to you, whatever you find easiest. Just need to try and get it as precise as possible. And then spin that round. And again, line up. So that's giving us a diamond on that side there. Okay, turn your card round and do exactly the same on this side. can discard those white bits. Now what we need to do is try and coax this into a fold, because at the moment we've just got a flat bit of card with some score lines on it. And what you're going to do is all the flat lines, okay, so all the straight lines are mountain folds. So a mountain fold is where it kind of comes up and over on itself. Okay, fold and burnish those. And these ones down here as well, side ones, mountain, 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 and mountain. And then all of the diagonals are valley folds. So they're going to go in on themselves like a valley. If you've never heard the valley and mountain folds before, it's a really, really good way of trying to describe to people which way to fold. And that is going to just coax in. So you grab that one there, and the way you've folded it will automatically mean that folds in on itself like that. Okay, and then we'll do the same on the other side. So we've already done our mountain folds here and here. Then we're just going to do valley fold. Yeah, so a valley fold and a valley fold. And same as before, that's just going to coax in, and that will then fit in your 6x6 envelope folded up. What a fancy fold. It's good, isn't it? But it's really, really not that complicated. But it's so effective. So we've done with that, and it will stand up. Certainly when it's got some weight on it, stand up. So we'll put that to one side. And then what we're going to do is make our diamonds and our pattern. We're going to do our pattern paper. Tell me to stop if I've gone too fast. I'll tell you what, before I do that, I'll just stick, all I'm going to do now is stick the Whisper White onto the coloured. And you're probably going to want to decorate these too, so you're probably not going to want to stick these to your actual finished card straight away. If you want to stamp all over this one as well, you might want to do it before you stick it onto your coloured card base. But I'm good. I'm just going to stick these on while I wait for you. OMG, Sandy, OMG. It's a lovely, lovely fold. This is where Russ's Valentine's Day card came from. Because it was one of these gone wrong. And in the end, I just took the diamond panel that I had decorated, because you can do a reverse one of these. You can actually do a triple one. I was trying to make a gatefold. I got a bit ahead of myself, I think. But I had decorated the diamond, so in the end I just trimmed that down, matted and layered and matted it, and then stuck that on his Valentine's Day card. So that's where that came from. So let's pop those to one side. Take the 3 pieces of DSP. Now you can do this really, really neatly, or you can do this really haphazardly. I would suggest doing it neatly and measuring. Okay, so we're going to need our ruler. And what we need to do, we need to mark halfway point on all 4 sides. So it's 7 centimetres. So we need to mark at 3.5. And the same at the bottom here, we need to mark 3.5 centimetres. Okay, we're going to do that on all 3 pieces. Make a tiny mark and hope that you don't have to rub it out, which is what I'm doing, or you can make a bigger mark and know that you have to rub it out. I'm hoping that by the time I've cut this you won't see my pencil mark. I am a bit of a lazy crafter. Okay, we're now going to measure this side, and this side measures 14.6 centimetres. So that is going to be 7.3 centimetres is the halfway mark. .6, 7.3. Ah, bless you, Mary. Good luck. Is that what you say for blood tests? Wish you well. 7.3. Thank you so much for popping on, and yeah, catch up with you later. So the first one I did not measure all of these, and it turned out a little bit wonky. Just trying to, I did it by folding. You can fold paper in half, can't you, and find the halfway point, but decided to show you the proper way of doing it. So once we have marked all of our pieces of design series paper, what we're going to do is cut diagonally between them all until you are left with a diamond. A diamond. So we're looking for a diamond shape, being a double diamond file card. Bring in our trimmer. What we're going to do is line up. Now I'll give you a little tip. I don't know how your trimmers work, but I know my trimmer, when I cut, I push the blade to the right. So this gap here, where your trimmer guide is a millimetre. And before I kind of learnt this about my trimmer, I was lining these points up right in the middle of the track here, and actually I was getting a wonky cut. So what I've started to do is line them up against the right hand edge of this, and then cutting, and that is where my blade goes. So my blade does not go down the centre as I first thought, it goes to the right, and that's probably because when I cut I push the blade to the right for some reason. So when I line that up, just lining it up on the right hand edge of the track, and if you're cutting like this from a non-square piece of card, certainly if it was a sharper point than this, what you can do is just start in the middle, run forwards and backwards, and it means that you won't catch the point, otherwise you can catch that point. So just do another one of those. Keep these offcuts, okay, we're going to need those, so keep those safe. And then this is just going to fit very neatly now, should do, in that diamond shape. As long as we've done our accurate cutting. Ah, does that help you, Anita, does it? Yeah, it's because the cutting guides are millimetre thick, which, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not a lot, but when you're trying to be as accurate and precise as you can, a millimetre can mean quite a lot. So yeah, because I must push to the right, therefore I line everything up to the right. If you push to the left, you might find you need to line up to the left. So we're going to do that with another one of our pieces. Again, keep the offcuts, you're going to need those. I literally only discovered that a couple of weeks ago, Anita. I think it was when I was doing all these cuts for this diamond fold. I was getting so annoyed. I was like, I lined it up. Why is it not straight? Okay, so there's our two. We are going to do the third one. Okay, we're going to do the third one the same. Yeah, we are. Just checking. Okay, yeah. Cut this one the same. Oh, let me know if that works, Anita. Please, I would love to hear if that solves your problem. Because yes, I was finding never ever with the old trimmer, never noticed it. And I've got through a lot of trimmers, and this one, the Stampin' Up one, is one of the best. But I was just getting slightly annoyed with this trimmer, but that has sorted me out. So what you're going to need to do with this one is cut it in half. Okay, this is the third one. So line that up point to point in the cutting guide. And this is where you really want to start in the middle, because these points are so narrow that if you run the cutting guide up to this point here, you'll ruck the paper. Certainly will. So just hold the paper down, start in the middle, run it up and run it back down. Okay? And you're going to need to cut off ever so slightly, a really, really thin sliver off them, I would imagine. These ones are going to go in this gap here. So yeah, I'm just going to trim off a real sliver. Off there. And then that should fit a little bit neater. Yep, into my gap there. And this one, test them first, don't just trim it. Test it to see, because it depends how you scored this one as well, and that one fits perfectly, so that's going to fit in there. So we are going to need our trimmer again, but we'll just pop that to one side for a second, and then we're going to stick these diamonds in place, I think. So make sure we've got the card the kind of right way. You can have it, let's just put that one that way and that one that way, so I will know which way they go. So I've done mine this way. If you wanted to have the diamonds showing, you could do yours that way. And you can have the diamonds as the most prominent thing. But I prefer it this way around, so that it's top way up. So just kind of fold that out a little bit so that we can work a bit neater. Anyone got any plans for the weekend then? Anybody going to try and get in the garden? Is the weather going to be nice for the weekend, do we think? Yeah, I think we might try a cycle ride to the coast. That would be lovely. The autofocus on this phone is terrible, isn't it? It just keeps coming in and out of focus. I'm just going to stick that one in that little space there as well. Okay. And then my two diamonds are going to go in the diamond obvious diamond places. This is a hard, I'd say the hardest thing about this fold is cutting the paper so that it fits neatly, and you will find that you haven't got particularly equidistant borders or the rest of it, but same with everything else in life. By the time you've decorated it all, you won't notice. I've managed to get some glue all over this. This is genuinely the one, well, okay, this is the top 2 gifts I've ever been given. Was this glue eraser for my crafting, my glue eraser from Anita. She chopped hers in half, bless her. And my ruler that my friend Sarah gave me. Because I was always coming to workshops on a Saturday and asking if everybody had a ruler, so she bought me one. These are great cards to use up your designer series paper stash. And send the love. I know we all love paper. I love looking at it. And I kind of figured recently that if we love looking at it, maybe everybody else does too. But it's hard sometimes to give it away, isn't it? Now these bits are going to fit in here. Okay, but you're just going to need to trim off the edges slightly. Okay, so you're going to need to either mark it and trim it. If I had my little chopper, that would be good. Or just wing it with a pair of scissors. It's entirely up to you. I'm just cutting roughly the right amount off, but I've shown you how to do it so that you can get a good finish. And I'm going to use the opposite side. So where I had the pink side showing last time, this time I'm going to have the blue side showing. Oh, I'm glad you like it. It really is a really pretty fold. And looks fab decorated with some flowers. Put some birds. If you had the Fraser bird set, I think that would look beautiful on here as well. But whatever you've got, make a masculine one as well. It's just that's something a little bit extra, isn't it? The other thing I will say when you're gluing them down is try and get glue right up into the point. Just a very thin smidge that doesn't squidge out. But you don't want the points of your paper lifting. So if you can glue all the way up into the point there. Yeah, the one I made before, and I love how just the blue bit sticks out over here. The one I made before is going to make, I don't know really who's going to get married, but we could make a birthday, wishing you much happiness today and always as well. Could be a birthday. I was thinking anniversary, and I've put all the pearls inside the petals, inside the flowers there. So somebody special might be getting that one as a birthday card this year. And then we need 4 more. We're just going to trim off that section at the bottom. Oh, my tummy is telling me it might be lunchtime. It's not quite, is it? My tummy fools me sometimes. It tells me it's lunchtime at 9:30. I did have quite an early breakfast this morning. Got no curtains in the bedroom yet. We have got a blind, but we've just got no curtains, so it's really, really light. And I have got an eye mask, but I don't sleep very well with it. I just need one more. It's going to go that way round. I don't sleep very well with it. I'm such a wriggler. It keeps coming off. So, which I don't mind. I must admit, I don't mind. I do quite like early mornings. Quite like, certainly when the sun's out and it's the joys of spring. I didn't go out. It's quite chilly out still, but certainly in the summer when you get up early and it's light, there's nobody around, you go out for a nice walk. Lovely. Feel like you have the whole world to yourself. I should have measured that one because it's just a little bit too big, but that's okay. That's better. I imagine you're all busy, heads down, crafting away, crafting along with me today, which is fab. I wish I was there in person with you, but for now, I'm excited to get back to classes. I'm going to be doing new classes, I think. I might try and do one from the home here as well, which would be brilliant. Get the neighbours round. There's a community centre just opposite as well. So, yeah, I can't wait. And then the one up in Denmead, I've got get back together with my ladies from at my dad's house. It'd be lovely to see everybody again. And then that one is just going to stick in there. So I'm going to it really comes together, doesn't it, when you've got all that paper on. It just looks a bit naff with all that white. And then this is going to stick on there. I've just got that Rococo rose panel. I'm going to decorate all that up. Again, I'm not going to do that today here. A, because I don't think I've got time, and B, because you probably won't have the same stamps and everything like that. So today's just about the cards and the folds, and I would love to see if you decorate yours up. Oh, I might use the snail. Oh, I might use the snails. Oh, they've literally just sat there on the floor. Actually, they'd look really pretty in these colours, wouldn't they? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So that's on the cards. Ah, the snail size are back in stock this morning. Brilliant. That means mine should be shipping out to me because mine were on back order. Include the snails, so make sure to meet your minimums. Ha! Including the snail stamps, dies and paper. Oh, do you know what, Katie? I didn't get the paper, and I'm glad I didn't because we've got them coming in the retreat pack. So you're going to have 2 papers, which is fab because they're great. The rest of the blends colours you don't have. And this, oh my gosh, that was a big order, Katie. Big order. The snails will be, yeah, I think the snails look quite cool on there. A little bit different to what I've done with them before. So you've got one panel here for the front and one panel here for the back, so that you can write on it. Just, I don't know if it works or if it doesn't, but because it's white, you possibly don't need it. But I'm going to stick that on the back anyway because I made it. I'm very happy, thank you, Anita. Yeah, really happy to be here, which is good. Yep, we sat down first night, and I said to Russ, I said it feels like home. So, am I going to pop that on? No, I'm not going to stick that on. I'm just going to put it on. So I'm hoping you can kind of get the gist. But that is what our card will look like. And stood up, just like that, before that panel falls over. If you can see that. Only had about 6 sets missing, hence why you finished your collection. Good. And they're replacing your poppy paper. Good. Oh, they're replacing those ones. That's fab news, Katie. You've already made the last 2 cards, but made mistakes, so have to use some different papers. Do you know what, Mo? It's a learning curve. Yeah, I made mistakes on my first Waterfall card as well. You're going to decide to wait and watch the next card being made so you don't make any more mistakes. It's so easy. I mean, and it's a learning curve. Yep. And you'll make mistakes on it, but next time you'll know what you're doing. So absolutely no problem. You're pleased with the outcomes. Good. So those little ones can go in the bin. And that can go to one side. And I'm going to draw the raffle. Well, not a raffle. It's a prize patrol. I need to remember to call it the right thing. So I've got this corner bouquet stamp set. So this is going to somebody who has purchased the kit. Everybody who purchased the kit, your name is in this little jar here. And somebody's going to win this little stamp set. That's my lucky winner. Who have we got? Jill Scott. Well done, my lovely. I don't know if you're here watching today, but I'm going to pop your name in there and I'm going to get that in the post to you. If you don't already have it, if you've already got it, I can't remember what you've ordered. I think you might have ordered this one last time or not. But anyway, if you've got it, I've got some other things. If you don't, this one is coming your way. Well done, Jill. Yeah, I think that was actually your, if they don't have this and this, get me this. So you're going to have that one as well. Well done. Shame, I need to get Jill sorted on the internet because she's struggling to log online. Right, so what we're going to do is move on to card number 3. This is a diamond easel fold card. So this is quite a straightforward card, but it's got lots of bits to it. This was probably the one with the most bits to it. And I haven't decorated it. This is just the basic card. Hey Claire, nice to see you. Or not see you, but you know what I mean. I'm just going to have a little tidy up. There we go. So in this one, yeah, lots of bits. Again, different colours for different people. I think you've all got Bumblebee, but I ran out. I thought I've got a bit of Granny Apple Green card on mine. But you should have a piece of basic black cardstock, 12 by 6, 2 coloured card mats, 5 3/4 by 2 3/4, 2 of those, 2 coloured card mats 4 by 4, 1 coloured card mat 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, 1 DSP layer 5.5 by 2.5. Crikey, we're still going. 1 basic white card 5.5 by 2.5. 2 DSP layers 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. 1 DSP. Just watching as you're so slow. Honestly, Diane, it's not a problem. I think you're one of many who watch and then craft later. It's just nice to have you all. And then like Mo, you can watch and Anita does it and Jill does it. So yeah, you're definitely not alone there. You've got 1 DSP layer 2.5 by 2.5, 1 coloured oval punch and 1 white oval punch. For quite a basic card, it's a lot of pieces. And this is the card we're going to make, and that just folds up and stands up like that. And then you can write your message on the inside. Love that. Absolutely love that greeting. That card, that fold. It's really, really good. So what do we need to do? Let's get rid of all of this, and we just need our 12 by 6 piece of card to begin with. You're doing that with your next Heather class. Yeah, I'm not very good at going slowly. I always say I will. And I would stop and slow down if anybody shouted. But I know you don't want to hold everything up, so bless you. So score the 12 by 6 card. along the long side at 3 inches and 6 inches. So get the trimmer out the way, score it at 3 inches. I've already scored it at 6 inches, so you just need to score it at 3 inches. And I'm going to turn it over and try and score it the same way. Might be that way actually. No, it's the other way. Not that it matters, I'm just being pedantic. Just score it. I'm just going to try and get my score lines going the same way. So 3 inches and 6 inches. On the short side, on the end closest to the 2 score lines, so got 2 ends, got 2 score lines now. Let me fold that one so that you can see it. Okay, so you've got score line there, score line there. At this end, mark it at 3 inches. Okay, which is the halfway point. Being black, pencil shows up quite well. So in the instructions it says draw a line or wing it and cut between the 3 inch mark and the closest score line. So you're going to want to draw a line between there and then cut along it. You can either use scissors or your trimmer. You don't need to score the line. You don't need to draw this line if you don't want to. If you just want to cut along it or wing it, that's absolutely fine. I probably should use the trimmer or a big pair of scissors, because you'll get a much neater cut with a bigger pair of scissors, because you don't need to keep doing, can you hear it? Every time I chop down, you run the risk of moving it. But that's fine. I'm okay with that. Oh, Diane, you're okay with quite happy listening and watching. Brilliant. And it means I can say hi to you as well. Again, just cut down that line that you've just drawn. So fold and burnish the central score line. Bring that down. So you've cut this, you've got a square down here and you've got a triangle at the top. Fold and burnish the score line and bring that down over here. Then draw around the triangle onto the card. Oops. Okay, and then cut along those lines. Again, use whatever cutting method you wish. Feels weird doing this video from a new room, and an empty room at that. Wow, it's got all the boxes in it. Yeah, we've been blacklisted from using Pickfords as a movers because our boxes were way too heavy. Like, quite rightly so as well. I couldn't even lift them. I just assumed that they would lift them with 2 people and bring them, but apparently they don't do that. So we ended up with quite a lot of our boxes downstairs, and they did they did an amazing job of getting most of it up the stairs actually. But there are a few that they had to leave downstairs because they said they literally just couldn't lift them up the stairs. And we've been told we can never use them again. He may have been joking. I think there was an element of seriousness in there as well. So, fold it and burnish the score. We've done this. We've created a matching triangle. So next you need to take the 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 piece of cardstock and the 2 1/2 and the 2 1/2 inch piece of DSP, these two, the small squares, and cut them in half to form triangles. Okay. So as we did before, just lining that up on there and there. And cut them in half to make triangles. Same with the cardstock. then what we need to do is just stick everything together. So these little triangles that we've just formed, they're going to go onto these triangles. Again, try and get the glue right up into the corner if you can do. So, who is sad that celebration is now over? I know loads of you, I would say, bombarded me, but on the last day, I had a few orders to go in, which is fabulous. So thank you very much for those. But yeah, it's quite funny. We have all of celebration, and then literally on the last day, everyone's like, get me this, get me this. That's just how the way it goes. I'm the same. I'm terrible. That's just how the way it goes. But yeah, only 2 months. We'll have another celebration later in the year. For anybody who didn't know that, so I think it's July, August. I think it's in the run up to the mini catalogue. But I could be wrong. It could be August, September. I think it's July, August. So that one's going to go on there like that. Then papers onto, again, I think you've got Bumblebee. I've just got Granny Apple Green because I ran out. I didn't quite have enough for myself. And then some of you have got this paper and some of you have got the daisy paper. If you wanted one square red, feel free to do that as well. You don't have to have them both. I don't know what's on the other side of the daisy paper. I can't remember. So yeah, I'm excited already for another celebration. I love free stuff. Love it. Do I want, let me think, do I want a red one? No, I do not. I want a flowery one. I do not make enough fancy fold cards. I love, love, love making standard A6 cards, but something that a little bit special about these, isn't there? And then you've got 2 pieces of cardstock here, and 1 piece of Whisper White, that's for our greeting area. 1 piece of pattern paper here. I should really have done the whole lot in green. That would have been quite cool, wouldn't it? It's quite bright. It's quite nice and vibrant. But it might look nice with a contrast. Show you what it looks like so that when you recreate these. And again, if you want to stamp onto this one or decorate this one, you might find it's easier to wait until after. But I've got the glue out and I'm not very patient, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick that down. Got my tongue out. You can't see that, which is probably a good thing. Where are these all going to go then? So let's leave our little diamonds for later. Lay the card vertically, so the section with 2 score lines is at the top. Okay, so you've got your 2 score lines here at the top, and lay it like that in front of you. Take one of the largest squares. You want to stick it as a diamond shape in here, but you want to leave a border. Okay, so don't bring it all the way down to this point. Pop it in there so that you've got a border. Okay, and whichever way around. So if you were doing this with directional paper, it would look a bit odd right now, wouldn't it? Because you've got your pattern would be facing this way. So you kind of need a non-directional paper for doing this one because everything's going to be on the diamond shape. Or you would have to use more paper and cut the diamond out at a certain angle, which I'm not clever enough to work out. So I'm just using non-directional paper. And what I mean by non-directional paper is it doesn't matter which way up you have it, the design still makes sense. And then these are the little triangles we made, and they're just going to pop in those spaces there. Yep, my belly is definitely saying it's lunchtime. Oops, I've got a bit too much glue there, so I'm just going to leave that and then I'll come back later with the glue eraser, I think. So it says stamp and decorate this panel, and then that goes onto this rectangle up here. Okay, so again, if you want to stamp it and decorate it, please do. I'm just going to stick mine on, I think, because I can still stamp. Actually, no, I'm not going to stick it on. Changed my mind. I'm going to leave that so that I can stamp it, because when you've got something else on the back of here, it might be a little bit more awkward to do. Okay, so if you want to decorate that panel, just leave that off for now, but it's going to live in here. So then fold that over and stick the remaining rectangle, so that's this one, into this square here, and you want to line up these edges. Can you see? I don't know if you can see with the light actually on the black. If I fold it up, it might be easier. You want to line up the edges of your diamond fold card with the edges of the fold line. Can you see that? Put something white behind it, you might be able to see better. Okay, so you want it like that. So you've got a border all the way around, and the points are lined up with the edges of the fold. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Just stick it down with a border like you did below, but only put glue on half the side. You don't want to glue above this point. Halfway. Might just have gone over there. So if anything, stick your glue on slightly under, halfway, but don't stick it above, otherwise you'll never ever get the fold that you want. Okay, so that's there. It's still going to fold up. Yeah, so I've got a bit of glue, so I've got a bit of tidying up to do with my glue eraser once that's dried. Okay, and then this one is going to stick just in that gap there. So it's the cutting. On this one, I must admit, it was the cutting of all the pieces that takes the time. Assembling, these are quite quick to do, aren't they? You can see that we've cracked through quite a lot. So I probably should leave that to dry just a little bit more. But I'll just take the worst of that off with the glue eraser. And then we're going to stamp a greeting. I've got the sweet strawberry set out, so I'm going to use that one. I'm going to use hello there. And I've got a little block. I'm going to use Memento black for this one, just to tie it in with the black card. This is the diamond from, there's a new punch, the double diamond punch. And it punches out one of those and one of those as well. So you can just layer those. So glue on that one, so that's flat. And then I've got some dimensionals. I found some more dimensionals, which I'm incredibly pleased about because it was looking a bit dicey for a moment as to whether I was going to run out. I had about a third of a sheet left. So I'm going to use 3 on here. Pull the backings off. And then what you're going to do is figure out where you want your point to lie. How steeply shelving do you want your card to be? Do you want it all the way back there so it stands up almost vertically? Or do you want it down here so that it's quite low down? Or do you want it just somewhere in the middle? So wherever you want that, I'm just going to trim. Wherever you want that is where you're going to stick your kind of button that we've just made, because that's what's going to keep this upright. So you can kind of just figure it out. You want this central, yeah, and you can just kind of have a play around, figure out where you want your card to sit, make sure you've got your thing square, and then that's just going to sit there like that. So folded to close. That again will go in a 6x6 envelope, and then when you open it up, lift that up, just slots in there and stands upright. And you can decorate this panel if you wanted to. You could put maybe a white square on with a little decoration, little focal point. Actually, I really quite like it just as it is. Doesn't need anything else. You could do something else if you wanted to, but it doesn't need it. And that really is that. 3 fun, fancy folds. Obviously this one's going to get decorated and just stick in the middle. Or I might just leave it blank to write on. I don't think I will decorate it actually because you can't see it. So yeah, let's go ahead and stick that down and then I can just write on it when I'm ready, I think. Because you don't see it, that one's not for decoration. Ah, brilliant. Thanks, Sandy. I'm glad you like. So yeah, that's not for decoration, that's just going to sit in the middle there. Oh, also what it does is it gives you just this little hint of white in there, which ties in with the button we've got. So that's that one. We've got this one, which is hard to show you standing up, I'm honest. And then we've got our waterfall card that we made first off. Oh, Heather, I'm super chuffed. So pleased you loved it. Thank you. And thank you, Anne-Marie. Oh, did you get all your chopping done in time, Anne-Marie, so you could craft along with us? Thank you. I'm going to decorate them up. I'm going to have a little bit of play with the decoration, I think. But yeah, and I'd love to see yours. See if you've decorated yours, or you put something different on, put a panel on. Do show me. Pop it in the pop it on my Facebook page. I would love to see. It's a great trio of cards. Thank you, Katie. For the first 2 you did. Oh, good. So you just didn't get it done for the last one. It's a bit more cutting with that last one. But now you've seen it, you'll know exactly what you're looking for. Thank you, Diane. I'm so pleased you enjoyed it. It makes it all worthwhile when you enjoy the classes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anita. So thank you everyone for joining me. It seems a shame to go really, but I must. I've got the tip at 12:30, so a quick lunch I think. load the car up, and then we'll head on out to the tip and get that done and dusted. But I will be back. So the next class, I must tell you actually, the next monthly class on Facebook is Gilding Flakes. So I haven't really advertised it yet, but I'm hoping that shipping isn't taking that long. I may have a look at the date when we're supposed to be doing it. But it's going to be a 5 ways with Gilding Flakes. Mine are just starting to come out. I just shook them up quite a bit, so I've got to. But they are gorgeous things to work with. A few options available for that one. So we've got just the class on its own is £15. You can add the Gilding Flakes and the heat and stick powder, and then you can add on the stamp set as well that we're going to largely work with, I think. So I'll advertise those options anyway this weekend probably, and so I can start kind of finalising bookings and get that in for April. Oh my goodness, how quickly is it going? So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have fun. Love to see what you do. Love to see what you do with any other kind of papers as well. So do show me. Thanks, Mo. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody have a lovely weekend. And yes, it will feel good to get some stuff gone and out of the house. Little by little, slowly by surely, we'll get there. Thank you so much. I'll be back next Friday. No, I won't be back next Friday because I've got to work. So next Friday is I'm working, but I'll be back Friday after that with another little video for you. Take care, stay safe, have a good weekend, enjoy some sunshine, and I'll see you all again really, really soon. Thank you so much. Bye for now.